makeover, which is like, I was a lot like Fern, and I felt like I always wanted a makeover, and I didn't have anyone to give me a makeover, so I got a makeover.
It was a great makeover.
So what was it like for you to read it?
I mean, I read it, and right away, it was just so good, and the language was just so evil and like sharp and witty, and the girls were so strong, and I wanted to be in the movie. So I just wanted to be in the movie. And I auditioned for different characters, and they worked all this stuff out, and it was a great process.
Woo!
I think for me, out of everybody in the cast, I'm the only one who actually had a high school experience like Jawbreaker. But when I read this script, there's such an inherent rhythm to the dialogue that Darren wrote on the page of the comedy and the horror and all of that, that for me as an actor, it was where I thrived and what I wanted to do. And so I was so excited to be able to be a part of it.
And when your high school experience, were you a Foxy? Who were you in the high school in your experience?
Yeah, I mean, let's just put it this way. I went to 5 proms in 4 years.
So did I. I was catering. I'm just kidding. I mean, from reading the script, which I mean, I wish my mom would have read it to me as a bedtime story every night. It's just, and maybe she obviously did, but how did you guys start? I guess Darren, it probably started with you. How did you start to develop something that so sounds and looks and feels almost like a cartoon, like a fable? Did you know it was going to be like so heightened?
Yeah, I really set out to write something that didn't feel like it was. I wanted it to be timeless. I loved films like Blade Runner. I know that Jawbreaker isn't exactly Blade Runner, but I wanted it to be sort of like the Blade Runner of teen movies in a way.
Well, Blade Runner's not here tonight, and you are.
So the fashion is all very vintage. It's like vintage, it's fetish, it's 40s, it's a whole melange of influences. I didn't want it to be completely of the time, and certainly not what girls would actually wear to school.
Yeah.
Well,
Shut up, just shut up.
She's like, I don't know what you bitches were wearing. Every day, you know, you eat your Wheaties, you put on your corset and go to high school. You know? I mean, as a group, was there a moment, give it up for the hair, makeup, and costuming. Was there a moment where you guys were like, wow, we are departing from reality? I mean, everything's so grounded, but the costumes are what keep it so like, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, look at my hair, and then look at my hair in the movie. It sticks straight in the movie. It took hours.
Every day.
Every day.
There was a lot of sweat when he was blow drying your hair every day.
You would entertain me in the hair and makeup.
That was nice of me.
No, you would tell me jokes. It was so fun. You guys would keep me company.
I made the most fun with hair and makeup.
Yeah.
It was hours in that tiny trailer, and we transformed ourselves.
Yeah, we had so much fun
It
at
was
that
a
time.
really good time.
Yeah.
They cut off all my hair the first day of filming.
It was so fun. It was the most fun.
Because your hair was pretty long. I read that they took quite a bit off.
It was long, and I agreed to what I call a clavicle cut, to your clavicle bone. And
Not what happened.
and Alex kind of took it and chopped it like right to here, and then he shaved the back of my neck. And just so you know,
She cried.
I cried. This was 2 months before my first wedding. I got married, didn't last very long.
Here's the hair. With the hair.
But the first scene we shot was in the car where I'm crying, and all I did, you'll see, I reached behind and I touched the back of my neck, and I start bawling. I was like, my hair is gone.
Oh my God, like on Top Model when they cut their hair and they like cry.
We got to see that live.
Oh no.
We also dyed Judy's hair platinum.
Oh, yeah.
And you were cool with that, right?
Yeah, I wasn't getting married or anything. For like literally 20 years.
Well, Well, I read at the time that the inspiration was sort of like Natalie Maines from The Chicks had short hair, and then like Marilyn. Did they tell you, girl, it's gonna be super blonde, it's gonna be super short?
Yeah, well, we talked about Marilyn Monroe, but it was all, I mean, Darren just had such a specific vision for everything, like down to how we held things and the way we walked and our cadence and everything. So I just didn't, I was fine with it. And it was fun. It was fun to transform.
We were young. We didn't give a shit.
Except for you.
Except for Julie.
I just want to give a shout out to the costume designer who's here tonight, Vicki Barrett. Do you want to stand with me? Stand up, Vicki.
Can I just say, she hand-dyed the seams of our pantyhose to match our outfits.
Oh, shit.
That's the amount of detail. Incredible.
Vicky, look. It's from your movie. Same size, can you believe it? I mean, certain things, like besides, of course, the costume and the hair and the makeup, did you know, Darren, that all these, the musical choices in the film, I mean, come on. How did you, like, sit
music.
down?
I just love music and punk and alternative and rock and all that stuff. So I was already familiar with the Donnas. I was already familiar with Imperial Teen,
Yes.
Veruca Salt, all those bands, the Scorpions. I wanted the music to also be a blend of 80s, 70s, 90s, timeless. Like there's the Frank Sinatra song at the end. And then during the Big Stick scene, there's Connie Francis. Which was a campy choice.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I remember, I don't know if it was a producer or executive, but somebody wanted a male vocalist. We had two songs, they were both at the time period, but I wanted the female vocalist, and I had to sort of fight for that. I don't know why you had to fight for things, but sometimes you just do. You know, it was the correct choice. It's a female-centric world, you know?
I mean, it's like, had you gotten to make a huge film like this?
No,
You got budget and
no.
everything.
Well, I mean, this movie was $3.5 million and shot in 28 days. It was a really fast, and it was the home video
Small
division.
movie.
It was the home video
That's
division of the
beautiful.
studio. It wasn't like a big Columbia or a big TriStar. It was Columbia TriStar Home Video, which went on to become Screenshot. So, but that gives it the scrappy punk rock, I think, ethos of the movie. That
We were so edgy and scrappy.
You were so cool.
So cool.
Well, I feel like with big studios, when movies are this cool and special, sometimes there's a tug of war. Do you remember anything that you were like, I'm fighting for this? You know what I mean?
You know what? It's funny. Every studio in town passed on the script, and it was the small home video division that made it. So I felt grateful for that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have to change that much. I mean, one thing that the executive wanted me to add when we tested it, it tested too dark. Imagine that. Because I wanted it to be a horror film, so it had this sort of undercurrents and that darkness.
The Cardigans also.
Yeah, so I had to add those weird cartoony sounds that are between scenes that.
Like the Hanna-Barbera, like, yeah.
Because that was going to let the audience know this wasn't quite as dark as you might think it is.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really about that, because I thought it betrayed what I wanted to do with the film, which was a real darkness under it. But guess what? Now, 25 years later, I'm used to it. It is what it is.
Can I just ask something gay?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to ask you, ladies, when you put on these outfits, like, what did you feel like at your costume fittings when you were like, these shoes, these outfits, this hair, oh my God?
It felt incredible. It really did. I mean, first of all, Vicki is an incredible costume designer and made us all feel so comfortable with our quirks about our bodies and everything, and made sure that we felt sexy and powerful in all of our outfits, and worked with us, you know, because we all have issues. So she was absolutely fantastic. Rebecca doesn't have issues.
I do, but what issues?
But no, I mean, I think we just felt, I mean, walking down that hallway.
Listen, if we were
bed, like,
that hallway
like-
scene, I'm not gonna lie, that was a sexy scene to shoot.
Yeah.
That was fun. Strutting down the hallway with a short skirt on with your friends with attitude, it's a dreamy thing to film. Yeah, we've all wanted to do that, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
so, you guys, we all just did that in the museum.
We did
5
just
minutes ago.
recreate it.
And I have to ask, obviously going from like Fern to Violet, it must have been those fittings like night and day. You know what I mean?
Yes. I felt so much more comfortable as Fern. What does that say about me? And I had that insane wig.
Oh, that wig, that Viola Swamp wig girl.
A retainer, Judy.
How
It was
do
like
you
a
eat
Carrie,
lunch
it
with
was
that
like
wig?
Carrie. It was
It
supposed to be
was
Carrie, like a
like
Carrie type wig.
Carrie. Like,
Oh.
It was,
And these were the days before lace fronts. You know, it was what it was.
you had to have bangs. Otherwise, crazy. It was so fun though. That transformation was just like, yeah, well, I already said that, but it was really, I loved Fern. I felt a lot of love for her. I feel like I've played Fern in some grown-up versions of Fern since then, and I always think, oh, this is like an older Fern. She's still here.
Can I ask like a question to any of you? Like, when you saw this film for the first time, we're obviously sitting here at the Academy Museum. What was in it the first time when you saw it where you were like, wait a minute, this is fierce? You know what I mean? Do you have any first memory of that where you're like, wait a minute, girl? Did we snap or what? You know? I mean, did they snap or what?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fierce. I mean, I think the first time I saw it was at the premiere.
I was just gonna say, I didn't go
We
to
didn't
a
like screen it or
early
anything.
screening or
No,
anything.
it
I
was-
saw it at the premiere.
It was in Hollywood. Where was it?
Galaxy Theater.
We were
Hollywood
all
Boulevard.
together, I remember that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
now a gym.
There's pictures. Oh,
There's
is it
lots
gym
of
now?
pictures.
I thought it was a Muji.
This will be a Pinkberry tomorrow. It's fine.
Ever.
Speaking of Pinkberry, my skirt is very short. Sorry. This is like so open, but I feel like you guys have so little time to talk. Like this says literally fun memories or dynamics between actors. Is there anything?
We should talk about Rose McGowan, who's not here. I mean, how incredible is she as Courtney? And it's funny, I had seen her, I discovered her in the Doom Generation, Greg Rocky's The Doom Generation, which I absolutely loved, and I was like, who is this actress? I was fascinated by her. And then I saw Scream, and I was like, oh, now she's blonde, and she's dying in a garage door, this is so cool. And then when I wrote Jawbreaker, I thought it was almost like too on the nose to cast Rose as Courtney, like too obvious. But it turned out that the obvious choice was the right choice.
Which is the casting is so right in this movie.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys think? You guys worked with her?
Julie would like to start.
They got very close. You were very close.
Yeah, because you guys were in a lot of scenes together.
And you rehearsed together a lot before we shot.
Listen, you know what? We all,
We had a lot of fun.
and
The fun
It
thing
says
about
fun memories. on the front.
the fun thing about movies is that sometimes the dynamics on the page become the dynamics behind the
Dynamics.
scenes.
So weird,
And that's
they
what-
do.
Happened.
listen, I know when Julie got kicked out of the trio, they actually kicked me out of the trio.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, you didn't, but some other people did. And I think no, you didn't.
Okay,
Try not to name names here. But I think, Darren, you're absolutely right that, you get caught up in the dynamics of your characters in a movie and they bleed into the hangout time on a set. And it can affect the way you work with someone for a minute. But it was never lasting. You guys, we had a great time. We had
It was
such a
fun,
fun
yeah.
shoot. We were like kids at a candy shop making this movie. We really were.
It's difficult to imagine that it's 25 years old because, frankly, you all look exactly the same, and also
finish your thought.
even prettier and more beautiful.
Oh,
Yes.
start.
But why do you think 25 years later it like still hits when people watch it? I mean, high school's like the 90s experience of a high school is so like frozen in this film, but it translates so much. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. Listen, my daughter who's here tonight, Billy, is starting high school. Hi, Billy. I don't know where you're sitting. Where are you, baby? Anyway, I don't want to embarrass her, but she's here, and she's starting high school in September, and I just keep reminding her that the cruel politics of high school still exists. Yeah. So we're gonna watch Jawbreaker again.
I think, like, I mean, queer people obviously love it, and they might be here tonight because I've seen some of the haircuts. I saw some baby bangs walking in. But I think a big part of why gay people like it is because in high school, gay people hide the whole time. And this movie, I mean, I always got like, wow, with Fern, Violet is her idea of what a beautiful, confident, popular person is. It's her drag. You know what I mean? And I think anybody who feels other, this movie kind of takes the two-dimensionalness of high school and pushes it. It's like, look, it's fake. It's make-believe.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people get out of it.
I agree, yeah.
But you know, I went to state
I
school.
love that.
I have to ask, how did this movie impact your career long-term? And people still say, I love Jawbreaker.
Yes, they still do. I get notes passed to me by people thanking me. I've had someone tell me that this movie, when they saw it, they felt like someone understood them. That would be you. And that they felt like, to the just like, oh my God, it's so much fun, to like, oh, there's other people out there for me. I just have to stick this shit out and then I can get to where my people are. And that's the best to hear. I mean, I'm so happy when people love it, but I'm also really happy that for some they felt like, okay, I can just like get through this, this high school or whatever this town is that I'm in right now before I can go somewhere and be accepted. And it was also like, I don't know, it's just, I'm really proud that 25 years later, we were like little babies. We shot this movie in Los Angeles. You've probably seen the movie, but there's places you'll recognize. And that like, we're at the fucking Academy Museum. And we shot this, and we were so little, and Darren said, I want to make a cult classic.
And look, Darren, you
I know,
did.
you did
did.
it, Darren.
You did.
It's funny you say that because I think this movie has some connective tissue to like Rocky Horror, don't you think?
Oh, look what I'm wearing, yeah. Yeah, because when I was a kid, Frankenfurter spoke to me. You know, the otherness in that character, the sexuality, the gender, the darkness, the power, the forbidden nature of it. All those things resonated for whatever reason for me as a young queer kid. Movies like, so did, you know, Divine, so did, Mommy Dearest, you know. And I think the characters in Jawbreaker come from that DNA, you know.
Definitely. Can I ask about, obviously, there's some other amazing people. Pam Grier's in this movie. I mean, the principal.
Carol Kane.
Do you guys have any stories about some of these like amazing scene-stealing artists?
Carol Kane, I made my own version of When a Stranger Calls when I was a kid. It was like a huge fan of hers. What do you guys think?
Jeff Conway, playing my dad.
Yes.
I was a huge fan of Grease. I mean, he was Kaniki. And just working with him was just so incredible and so much fun for me. I was just like, I can't believe I'm working with Kaniki.
And Pam Grier, I mean, she's so iconic, and just having, you know, and also such a strong female force in film, having her on set was really cool. I was scared of her.
All of us were scared of her.
She was a little scary, nice, but scary. Like, she knew what she
I took lots of Polaroids with her. I have so many Polaroids with
liked
her.
you.
I have all these Polaroids.
You're the popular girl. She liked you.
Or was I the weak link?
I mean, to sit across from her in an interrogation scene, she's not like a soft lady. She probably scared the shit out of you.
She did. I mean, I think there's a scene where she hits the Jawbreaker on the table, and it was scary. It was very frightening.
Like, I've seen her kill people in movies before. It could happen.
It could happen in real life.
Well, it says final question, and they haven't given me the light yet, so we might go a little long, if that's okay. Would you guys share any current or upcoming projects for these fans of yours? It could be things things you're working on in the yard?
Well, I do have a project in development that I've been developing, which is a long process I've never produced before. But I'm also what they call fun employed. So because of this pandemic and then this strike, work's been a little slow. So I'm just enjoying my life. Enjoying being at home and time with my family, and yeah.
I'm doing a little of that too. I'm fun employed. I did a small movie called Nichols that's still in post-production. My kids, I'm raising my kids. That's quite the job. You guys are awesome. I love you. And yeah, just looking for work, reading scripts, and trying to get back at it. I took a decade off, so I'm ready to work again. I hope it can happen.
I have a Christmas movie
Yeah.
that will come out.
Hey, I love Christmas movies!
And thank you. I feel like it's geared towards a different audience, but I invite you all to still watch it.
This is a God-fearing audience.
And my husband has started making pickles, so helping him with that.
Oh my god.
That's the garden part of my answer.
This is not necessarily an elegant wrap-up, but I think about the goth girl's hair all the time.
And Caruso.
Anne Russo, yeah. I was in New Orleans and saw this goth girl with a white helmet cut and a purple band around the bottom, and I was like, that's gonna be the look. And Anne chopped her hair off and dyed it in that way.
It's
She was
so
okay with that.
I just didn't want her to be an obvious goth girl. I just wanted her to be like a more unconventional goth girl.
She had a very long tongue. Do you remember that? I remember this. No, this is a strange memory, but she would do this tongue trick. And we would watch her. It was hard.
There was some downtime on set.
Little talents. We all
Oh, you taught me how to do Thumbelina.
Thumbelina
in the
do
dark.
it.
This
Do
is
it.
her doing it.
Okay, this is my talent. It's called Thumbelina Stuck in a Jar.
And that is what you would do while I would sit and get my hair straightened for 2 hours.
See, fun employed. I have to ask, because you all really created this film together. Obviously, it started as your baby, and then these are your mothers of your baby, and then everyone had 5 mothers, and it's a baby. But I feel like people throw the word camp around so willy-nilly. It just means like, oh, that's so camp. Why? Because it was Crazy Shoes or something. But you guys did something that was so heightened, but still so grounded. How did you pull that off, you think? I mean, you all contributed to that. Each of your characters starts and ends somewhere different.
Well, I mean, I think the whole story is about fitting in and wanting to fit in. And so as long as we stuck with our character's trajectory about trying to fit in and be popular and be cool, that was relatable. And if you kept it grounded in that, then you could go camp with it.
Yeah, the emotional stakes are very real, I think.
Yeah, it was listen, that is not an easy tone to do in a movie. I think it's difficult. It doesn't always work. I think there's a lot of movies where they go for that tone and it fails. But yeah, the important things were very real, and then the rest, we sort of dialed it up a notch in every way.
Yeah. Because you guys, I mean, the people who succeed in the film are the people who actually have a real friendship. And it really calls into question all the fake friendships that I mean, the end where it's like, there's no Courtney and Marcy's just under a table, and you're like, oh wow.
I mean,
That's
where else was she gonna go?
right. And the scene between you two on the phone, it's like not
That
a
was-
long scene, but you tell such a rich, long
I'm
story.
really guilty about that.
That was hard for me, actually. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
It reminded me of moments in my own childhood.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I wasn't playing your role in that scene. That I was.
But that's
the
what's so
person.
great about the movie is
know.
that we all, I think, got to take turns sort of being
Horrible.
Yeah. Horrible and good.
Yeah.
Marcy was never good.
I don't
She
think
hid
that's
under a
true.
table.
I don't think that's true. I think Marcy is having some good moments. You know,
I had to rewatch the movie.
Well, the scene where your dad is like, I saw Sally Jesse about Are You a Follower? And your character's like, not me, thanks, bye. You know what I mean? I almost got your character as like, this is what happens when you don't pick up on the cues of like learning something in this film. You just hide under a table, you know. But I'm very intellectual, so. And then Fern, it's like, as queer people, we kind of root for Fern, and then she gets so drunk on the power, by the end, you're like, is she the worst person for a second? And it
It's like a
goes like
Frankenstein
this.
monster.
Yeah. You guys did such a good job. I'm so happy we're here like, tonight. You guys have anything else you want to say to these beloved fans about Jawbreaker?
You guys made it. You guys brought us here tonight. Your love of the film, your passion for the film, is why we're here at the Academy Museum. So thank you for keeping it alive.
thank you to my friends who came. That's so nice of you.
And to my friends who came, where are you guys?
Now, where is everyone? Where's my friends?
And my friends and my family.
Yeah.
Kids are here.
Wait, where's my friend sitting? Scream. Oh, hi guys.
Okay, where's my group?
Wait, where's my group?
And I have no one. I will say before we let everyone go, unless you have a really cool like 90s flip phone, please silence your earphones during the film. And one more time for having us, please.